Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 75 and it is January transfer deadline day. And as you can see from the league table just above my head, we are absolutely flying and are now at the top of that pack chase in the last playoff place. So if you're looking forward to seeing how it's been going, what on earth is going to happen today, and how we get on against Middlesbrough, who, in true championship fashion, are 17th in the league, but only 12 points behind us, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below, and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. As it is, ironically, in real life, I will be on the train to Middlesbrough as this episode is released. But let's get cracking, because we have got a lot to get through today. It is transfer deadline day in the Championship. We've got potential deals coming in of real high quality. And if I take part in the day and take you over to the transfer screen, you can see what might have been happening. We almost, for the second time in the series, had our first £1 million signing. What I've basically been doing this season in the background, and we're going to do a focus on it in the end of season review, is a massive job on scouting the lower leagues. And we found some of the best players in League 2 and League 1. And we're trying to progress and get them in. The likes of Jamie McKenzie from Grimsby, who you can see, fabulous player, should be a championship footballer, but I can't justify £1.2 million for someone who's going to be our backup left back because Armin's really improving. So we're trying to unsettle people on that front. However, we have bought one in from the lower leagues, and we may well have one coming in from West Brom, who we've managed in a head coach before in FM21. You can see the striker exchange potentially going on down there. We've got a potential centre-half coming in on loan because we've let one go already. So let's just take you through the done deals because there is a lot here that we've got to get through. So we will start with two outs. First one, 375 grand. Sol Alidor Hamilton. We mentioned it last episode and in the summer, in fact. He's gone to Walsall. He's been a really good servant for us, crucial to 2 promotions. Played about half the games last season as we survived in the Championship and did pretty well in truth. And in this season, still contributed a little bit, but really did start to fall down the pecking order. So for Walsall, a League One club, an opportunity for him to really show what he's worth. But what a wonderful servant, and to make, a 10 times profit on him, you just can't complain. The other one to go out is Adam Doyle. He wanted to get first team football, and I don't blame him really. So he's gone to Salford, where he'll spend the rest of the season. I was tempted to bring back Berry or Garcia. Garcia's with him at Salford now, but they were both getting football and doing really well, so I don't want to stunt their development by shoving them on the bench here. I've got to show you the one that came in though. A like for Sol Alidor Hamilton was initially highlighted in the summer as our replacement for Bullock when he moved on, but obviously he's come back on loan for the year. But it's Terry Clark from Leyton Orient for 450 grand. Now Leyton Orient are in League 2, and Terry Clark is 19 years of age. He's an Irish under-21 international. He's fabulous. He's got a professional personality. Something I'm really working on in the background as well is getting personalities into this club who can really develop us moving forward. It's a natural number 10, a natural centre mid. Not quite first team level at the moment, but he'll get a little bit of football this year. He'll get plenty of training with better facilities. And hopefully next season, he's ready to take over from Bullock. And then a potential exchange today is Javan Malcolm going out on loan to Chesterfield. Complained about not getting football, and look, he's barely kicked a ball this year. 4 appearances in the league, 1 goal off the bench, that was it. And Josh O'Connor, a player we managed in FM21 at Hibs, a wonderful striker. If we can get him in for 150 odd grand with the quality he's got, he wants to be an advanced forward. He'd be a perfect backup for Ricky J. Jones. I've got to do it. So I think that deal will happen today so long as Malcolm agrees to leave. And then Craig Webb, if all goes well, will come and tuck in as our spare centre-half. If any of the other players we've chased in January become a little bit unsettled, we will look out for them. We had another little look at Andre Bekboev, but he's not quite of the ability to join yet. We'll keep our eyes on him. He's out of contract in the summer anyway. We also had a look at Jamie McKenzie, who we mentioned a moment ago. But there's an option at right back too, and I'm just going down to find him. Tony Deakin behind my head. He's a right back at Forest Green, got a year and a half on his deal, so hopefully we can pressurise him in the summer. But there's some real good talents about. We've bought one in, there's 2 or 3 more we could have got. We were looking at some of the lads from Northern Ireland too, but they weren't quite rated good enough to help us now. So with 15 hours of deadline day to go, I think we're in a position where we know what's going to happen today. It's just whether we get any of those surprise late offers. We're not in financial worry. We don't have to accept them at the moment. The club is in a fabulous position because we've got a tiny wage bill. But you never know. If the money's right, we've got to think about stadium. We've got to think about facilities. Well, 13 hours to go, and a former player has popped up in our scout reports in a position we need. So we'll keep that a surprise for now and see what happens. There is an offer from our director of football as well for a right back in Travis Johnson, 400 grand for a 29-year-old. He's missing the point there. Rotherham have come in for Webb as well, so we might miss out on that centre half. However, the plan might change here with Javan Malcolm because we were trying to sell him permanently. And obviously Chesterfield were the only club to come in, so we had to accept a loan offer. But if we can get him out and make more money than Josh O'Connor costs, this will be one hell of a deal. A player that we signed for free was the top scorer in League 2, the second top scorer in League 1. So let's see what we can get for him. Hopefully we can edge it up a little bit and change a little loan deal into a big transfer fee coming into the club. So let's try and get it up to 250 up front with 100 grand as an instalments fee. And should we try and add a sell on too, or is that getting greedy? No, he's 27. We don't need to do that. Although it's saying his transfer value is 475. So let's edge this to 300 and see what we get. They've accepted it. So 400 grand for Javan Malcolm when we've already got a replacement agreed who's better for 150k. I mean, that's magnificent. Let's go and cancel that Chesterfield deal because he is no way going there. So loan deal, absolutely not. You go to Bradford City. We'll get rid of that Travis Johnson one. And I've spoiled the surprise, haven't I? Paul Thornhill has been added to the loan list. We need a left back because Daniel Harvey's loan expired in January, of course. So maybe he'll just come in and fill the void there. With the McKenzie deal falling through, it's nice to get a cheap solution. Take the pressure off to the summer. Whether Craig Webb will accept us or not, I don't know. If not, it could be a late hump for a centre-half. Well, there's a transfer story leaked and it's someone we know. Lee Buchanan, who we played against in the last episode with Sheffield Wednesday and who we've used on Twitch in our Derby save multiple times. An offer has been made by a director of football for him. I can understand why, but I would imagine his wage demands for the ability of player, and in fact the transfer fee isn't great either, so we're going to ignore that. We're not going to talk to the media. 12 hours left. Big news for the start of the day. Javan Malcolm is off for 400,000 to Bradford City. Much like Alador Hamilton, just a thank you because he's been a wonderful servant. But that's a deal too good to refuse. At 27 years of age, 400 grand into the club, and we know we've got a replacement sorted already. Manchester United striker Tom Evans linked with us on loan. That's interesting. I mean, we're not going to sign him this window, but I'm certainly going to scout him with 1 year left on his deal. What we are going to do is push through this deal for O'Connor now. So we should be able to ask for confirmation and O'Connor will join. It was a deal done by the director of football, 135 grand up front, few appearance-based fees, and then a 20% profit of sell-on. But to be honest, at 25 years of age, it's a wonderful deal and he's a very good player. So into the club he comes. There we go then. Former striking star Javan Malcolm goes to get the first team football he deserves. Are Bradford League 1 or 2? They're League 1, so he's not stepping down too much. I'm sure he'll score at that level. And for less than half the price, we've bought in Josh O'Connor. Still got big potential, still fairly young. And he is a natural replacement for Ricky if we get an offer too good as well. So we're going to get him registered with a squad. I'm really pleased with our start to the day. But we are still a left back and a centre half short. So let's hope after we've welcomed O'Connor, we'll have a couple more to welcome before the end of the day. Well, ironically, just in case the deals hadn't gone through, I'd gone via the Director of Football Suggestions and bid for 2 youngsters from Norwich on loan, including Daniel Senior, who we sold for massive money in the summer. But it's all unnecessary, because both boys have agreed to join. John is a 30-year-old centre-half or left-back, but we don't need him now, because Craig Webb has agreed to join the club as a backup centre-half for no wage. And Paul Thornhill, he is coming back. What a footballer he is. No wage contribution, just for the rest of the season. And he's got 1 year left on his contract after that. Maybe we'll be able to tempt him in, because he's as good as McKenzie for a lot less money. And there's the evidence. I was looking at Daniel Senior. Fantastic little player. Not really featuring other than in the EFL trophy. But we're not going to help Norwich after they bought him for big money. So the 2 that come in are Craig Webb. 3.5 star ability. Might even be a starter in this team. It's very close between him and a couple of others. He's a monster in the air, maybe not quite as good on the floor, not quite as composed on the ball, but another fairly professional personality. There is no mistake that these are the types of characters we keep getting in. We'll ask Albi Armin to welcome him to the club. We've also brought back Paul Thornhill, safe pair of hands, 3-star ability, 4.5 potential. Has played 59 games for us, including 37 in a League One promotion campaign, and was crucial at this level last year as we survived. He's not as good as Armin now, but he's a solid backup. And he's very good mentally again. We've got all of the attributes in the squad, and we're starting to improve those characteristics too. So Hazeman is going to welcome him. We'll register both of them with the squad. And with 10 hours to go, I think we're done. We just wait to see if we get any silly offers. Well, hang on a minute. 9 hours to go. Director of Football makes bid for 21-year-old fullback Adam Proctor. And if the star ability is anything to go by, he's going to be a superstar. He might have found a little gem here, you know. He's only 5'9", so isn't going to be able to be a centre-half. We'll try and scout quickly as well. He looks a fabulous left-back, though. Blackburn have come in for Mackenzie, so I think we're going to lose out on him, but we forced the price up for other clubs too, which is great. Hopefully it falls through though, he's unhappy, and then we could take advantage for the summer. Ericsson Evans, we made a loan offer for, but we're not going to bring him in now. Oh, he bid 3.9 million for Proctor. I thought it was going to be a great deal. 3.9 million. That is the most I or the Director of Football have bid by a player by about 3 times as well. With 9 hours to go, it's hotting up away from what I'm doing. But I think for now, we're just going to stay calm. The squad we've got is very much good enough. If we can compete for the playoffs, it's a massive overachievement. Well, usual service when things are going well. Ricky J. Jones will now miss the next 2 games, including the one on camera. We rejected the deal for Senior, who agreed to join us. And the striker from Tom Evans from Manchester United has gone to Huddersfield. So Director of Football failed on that front anyway. I think it's going to get calm now. I can't even see that any of our players are wanted, so I'm sure there won't be much happening. There was me thinking it's going to be a quiet day. 2 players we've received offers for. Norwich are at it again. They just try to ruin every January for me. Firstly, our Director of Football's made an offer for Owen Beck. He's not good enough, so let's just get rid of that. Wants to be the highest paid player as well. These are the 2 big ones though. Norwich in for Mateus. Stoke in for Camoy Richardson. What are they like? Mateus. Oh, he's got a minimum fee release of 5.25 million. And this deal adds up potentially to 3 already. If we can get more of it up front, we have to take it. Because he's a good player. He's improving. He's doing well. But I don't think he's worth more than 5. So let's see what we can edge it up to. We're going to go, I think, 2 million there and 2 million there. If we can get 4 million in guaranteed money, I don't think we can turn it down. We'll then put that down to 100 grand each, which makes it 5 million. We're going to take off the percentage of profit. We're going to put on a 30% of next sale. Now, when we did this with Daniel Senior, they just accepted it. We've gone very big though. Let's see how it works out. They have accepted it. So for £4 million in guaranteed money, Mateus is probably going to be leaving. I wonder if they'll offer us a loan back. If not, we might be recalling people from loan. But for that player, the deal's too good. It's just too good. 4 million up front. That deal is done. What about Camoy Richardson? Oh, that's even bigger. Now, we've got to bear in mind that he's English. He's young enough to become homegrown at the club. And he's improving very quickly. 82 league appearances for us already. But he is a bit injury prone. And again, can we get massive money? This time I'm going to go even higher. I'm going to go 2.5 million there. I'm going to go £3 million in guaranteed instalments. In fact, I'm going to go 3 million upfront fee as well. They've offered a 30% profit sell on, so we'll go 40% normal sell on. That's ambitious, but if we can get in £10 million in 5 hours, I don't think we can turn it down for 2 good championship players. Here goes, suggest terms. They've negotiated it down to 3.5 million with a 50% sell on. He's worth more than Mateus, and that's not even all guaranteed money. So I'm going to reject that one. But with 5 hours left, Mateus looks to be off. I've got a feeling there'll be another offer for Richardson. Seems to have been the way in recent years. And there's the positive sign. For nothing, in terms of wages, we're going to get Mateus back on loan. So £4 grand off the wage bill, 4 million into the club. And let's be fair, I know he's had injury and illness problems this year. Bennett Sharif was first choice last season. He's not far behind. I think we're pretty happy with that work. The deal is done. Let's get through the other stuff. Mateus is leaving the club out of nowhere. Not been wanted for a minute since he's joined. But what a deal. 4 million guaranteed. £1 million if he makes 10 appearances for the club. And a 30% sell-on clause with him coming back on loan for no wage contribution. That's the deal of the century. Mateus, see you later and welcome back. Well, 1 hour to go. An offer has been made by Marcus Morris for Stephen Harkin, someone we looked at earlier in the window. He wasn't quite as good as McKenzie, so we didn't bring him in. I liked him because he had positioning and he was 6 foot as a fullback. He had a professional personality. But he's not quite the solution. And with left back sorted with Thornhill, I'm going to leave that deal for now. He wanted to be the highest paid player. He's not worth it. Well, interesting. Hibs and Blackburn in for Jamie McKenzie, but the deal did not get done in time. That could make the summer interesting. But today has shown, I think, why we need to get those youth facilities and that up now. Because if we can start producing our own players worth a bit of money, we're going to get rid of bucket loads and we're going to have ready-made replacements. The deadline has passed. I'm delighted with the players we've got in. Thornhill back as a solid backup. The same for Craig Webb coming in. Josh O'Connor is an upgrade for Malcolm for a third of the price. And Terry Clark is a brilliant young prospect who comes in with the same ability as Alador Hamilton for the same price. We then get 4 million for Mateus and have him back on loan. So the playoff push continues and the money rolls into the club. The wage expenditure should be even lower because we've managed to get rid of one. In fact, it stays the same because of the players we've brought in. But that's absolutely fabulous, isn't it? We're 6th in the league with the lowest wage bill. Just a fun little stat for the transfer window just gone. The Championship has outspent the Premier League by 60 million quid. That shows the desperation of getting to the Premier League. We also won Manager of the Month for January. We'll talk about the results that got to that in a moment. But that's an interesting stat. One of the weirdest ones I've seen. We're back to face Middlesbrough in a Championship. Let's have a look at the schedule though for what's happened since you were last with me. You can see it actually started very badly with 2 defeats and lots of goals conceded. But January has been perfect. A brilliant win in the FA Cup despite rotating. And some of the league results are mind-blowing. So you were with me for the brilliant wins last time against Sheffield Wednesday and Palace. We then went backwards a few steps. A late 3-2 defeat against Reading. Stutter and Doyle had put us ahead twice, but Tyrese John Jules with a brace and Joseph got one. Battered at home to Forest. Kamari Doyle got the goal for us, but that's why they're top of the league. They're brilliant. Into January, much better. A 2-0 win at Bristol City through Armin and Stutter. A 3-1 win at home to Birmingham via a Ricky J. Jones hat-trick. Against Stoke, we only had 1 game a week, so we half rotated, but we left a few in. It's one of those men that came in that saved the day, though. Rodell Richards got a hat-trick, Daniel Georgie got the opener, and Finley Burns, someone we managed at Rangers in last year's head coach, came back to score a goal against us in this one. The big surprise, though, we played at the time, second place Watford, and won 5-1 away from home. Ricky J. Jones got 2 of them, the man that got stuck rotting in their under-23s at the start of this save. The main reason we got him, really, and he came back to haunt them. Kamari Doyle got a brace as well. Bajcetic got his first for the club. A 2-1 win at home to Blackburn, thanks to Bullock and Ricky J. Jones. Bullock hadn't played in a month, came off the bench, made a massive impact. But you can see through that run of fixtures how important Ricky is. The last time we had him with little injuries was that run in September, where we didn't win and we lost every game in 6. Will the same happen now? We haven't got him today. We play bottom place Oxford at home in midweek. And if we dry up the form when he's not here, it could be a really costly spell for us. So let's go and get into the tactical meeting. This is what we bought Josh O'Connor for. Let's go and pick our 11. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. It's going to be a big day at the Riverside, which looks like it's been expanded. Well, a couple of big decisions made today. Terry Clark is not yet featuring in a squad. I had to send him on a week's holiday when he joined, but he will feature off the bench against Oxford in midweek. Thornhill and Webb stay out as well. I want to keep a familiar feel, apart from up front. O'Connor comes straight in because of the Ricky injury. I could have gone Richards, but I want the pace. I want the running in behind, and he's the man I trust for it. I've gone for Bullock in midfield. He made an impact off the bench. Doyle had a little illness in the week, so it just gives us a chance to freshen things up. And our 11 is Zach Geacock between the sticks. Best trainer every week, improving massively, starting to look like a championship keeper. Mateus making his second debut with Armin at left back, Bajcetic and Taylor centre half. Egan, Georgie, Hubert and Bullock the midfield diamond. O'Connor making his debut alongside Stutter up front. So let's hope we can get a positive result. New contracts for the likes of Geacock and Taylor as well. There's a great atmosphere around the club. Now let's make it count. Off to Borough we go. I'm on my way there in real life, but how will we do in this world? Let's go and see. Well, 4 changes for Borough. 2 for us, 3 it's been listed as technically because of Mateus. And the reason they say that is because he loses his sort of relationships with the players down the wing or the players at centre half alongside them. Does make it a little frustrating, but it's a very good lineup. It's a great Middlesbrough side. Lingard's still going. Akande we've played against a couple of times on camera. And Akinfemiwa, someone who we had in the Twitch streams, is playing at centre half. So there's plenty of talent here. I see David Keegan on the bench, the man we tried to sign in the summer before the transfer embargo. But into the first half we go. Can we keep the winning run going, or are we going to lose our first game of the calendar year? Well, how about that? Half time, 0-0, 1 shot on target, not much on the expected goals front. I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty good result, and it's a very solid defensive effort, but not what I expected based on our goals galore approach to the last few games. Is that the difference when Ricky J. Jones isn't in? Let's get into the second half and see if we can nick it. 10 minutes in and there's a knock for Georgie, so I'm not going to take any chances. Christian Flores straight on for him. We'll give it 10 more and I think O'Connor's debut will come to a premature end. Well, Middlesbrough have made the subs. They've now had their first shot on target. I'm going to bring Richards on for O'Connor, who's not really had an impact. And then we're probably looking at Kamari Doyle for Bullock, who struggled from the start. He's not got the greatest fitness now. So we've made our 3 changes. We've played our hand. Are we going to get the whole match without a highlight? No, we don't, because we're in the 86th minute and we've got possession at the back. Please don't give it away here. Bajcetic plays into midfield to Flores and Rodell Richards. We just don't have the same goal threat without Ricky. You can't just punt it over and hope. As Taylor to Mateus. Back to his centre half again. The possession is nice, but we can't afford the mistake. Taylor to Mateus for a 3rd time. Not in a rush to get it forward by any means, as Hubert goes back to Bajcetic. I think he's actually the vice-captain now, Hubert, that Doyle's left. Plays back to Egan, chips up to Kamari Doyle. Where is that threat in behind? Rodell Richards to Flores, to Doyle, through to Stutter. He's 1-on-1, has to score and does. Who cares if it's a rubbish game? We're in 6th place, we're battling for the playoffs. 1 chance, 1 highlight, 1 goal. And if we can get a 1-0 away win, concede only 1 shot on target, that is the perfect away performance. But wait, we've dropped to cautious and Borough are on the front foot. Thomas from the left. I'm going to really regret that little statement, aren't I? Femiwo, wide to Thomas. Inside he goes. Big switch of play towards Furlong. And he's got a chance to cross here from the right-hand side. To the byline he gets. Into the back post. Geacock's made an absolute clanger. Oh, I kind of deserved that. 1-1, we've seen 2 highlights and it's led to a goal at each end. It's almost crushing now after what's happened. If it had been 0-0, I would have said great. But look, it's a fair result on the balance of play. A decent transfer deadline day, a decent result, and we stay unbeaten in the calendar year. Georgie's picked up an injury, just the 3 days for him. But that's what happens when Ricky doesn't play. We're 5 unbeaten in the league though. We'll try and get about halfway between now and the end of the season. I can see Derby around the end of March. There's some other decent sides in the middle of that month too. So we'll be back at some point around there unless we get through in the FA Cup and have a massive 5th round tie. If you did enjoy the episode though, another big sale on January deadline day. Again to Norwich too. Please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you think of the window, our playoff chances and the squad we've managed to assemble at the minute. And where do you think we're going to finish this season? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You can find links to anything you may have missed in the eye above, including the latest Review the 92, the Twitch channel and the football podcast, among the others. But a massive thank you for watching. Above my head, you'll be able to see the latest prediction show from the podcast channel. Please do go and subscribe over there if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. The playoff chase continues, or will it be more FA Cup magic? I'll see you there to find out.